Dynamic Headline News, and here's some of the stories making headlines in our community. About 700 Cuban refugees who had been living in third countries while waiting to join their families in the United States arrived in Miami over the weekend. As Todd Rosenthal reports, it was a day they'd been waiting years for.
The first of 3 planes carrying Cuban exiles to their new home in the United States landed at Miami International Airport 1:45 Sunday morning. After arriving, the group passed through customs and was taken by bus to Tamiami Park, where they waited anxiously to see friends and family. It was a day they dreamed of for years, and as you might expect, it was one filled with emotion.
This is the best thing that had happened in 8 years.
You've been separated that long?
Yes.
What is the first thing that you're going to do with your parents now that they're in the United States?
Be together and just don't go very far from there.
The nearly 700 Cubans arriving Sunday came as part of an historic agreement between the U.S. government and the Cuban-American Foundation. Under that agreement, the foundation paid all of their expenses and will continue to do so for the next 2 years, meaning these new refugees won't cost American taxpayers anything.
We have obtained employment for them before they arrive in the United States. We have paid for their medical insurance, and we have committed to the United States government that if these people, for some reason, have access to any welfare payments from the federal government, these monies will be returned to the U.S. government.
Sunday's events will be repeated several times. 800 more refugees are expected in a few months, and after that, 1,500 more will be allowed into the United States each year. At Tamiami Park, Todd Rosenthal, Dynamic Headline News.
Help is on the way for those who live and work along Palm Avenue in Hialeah. The area, which is now home to drug dealers, prostitutes, and criminals, will be the focus of a special police crackdown. The story from Todd Rosenthal.
Hialeah Police Chief Rolando Bolaños came to the United Methodist Church on Palm Avenue to tell a crowd made up of those who live and work in the area about a planned 28-man task force whose job it will be to rid Palm Avenue of prostitutes, drug dealers, and other undesirables. Bolaños says it's the biggest anti-crime campaign in the city's history.
Our objective is to be able to come into the Seminola and Palm Avenue areas and eradicate the crack problem, the prostitution, the burglaries, the auto thefts, and all the problems that are associated with the continual deterioration of those particular areas right there.
While it may not be easy for police to clean up this area, finding the problem shouldn't be any trouble. Our trip to Palm Avenue earlier in the day looked like a scene out of a Miami Vice television show. As soon as we took out our camera to begin filming along Palm Avenue, people told us to watch our backs. I'll tell you something, around here that doesn't look like such a bad idea. While police patrol the area on foot, even when they're here, they can't seem to control things. While I was talking to 2 officers, a prostitute was soliciting customers just a few feet away. While one of those officers went to take care of that situation, the other pointed to what he said appeared to be a drug deal taking place across the street and in clear view of the police car. But by the time he called for a backup unit, the alleged drug dealers were gone. Police say dealers usually do their business on street corner benches in the middle of the afternoon. Near one of those benches is a dumpster, and inside you can find small pieces of aluminum foil. Police say that foil was used to wrap crack cocaine. While the situation looks bad for what used to be a solid middle-class neighborhood, Chief Bolaños' planned task force is giving hope to these people who say they'll do whatever they can to help make it a success. In Hialeah, Todd Rosenthal, Dynamic Headline News.
Thousands of basketball fans showed up at the Miami Arena Saturday night to welcome South Florida's newest sports team, the Heat. And as Todd Rosenthal reports, it was a night to remember.
Well, I've been waiting for this night for a long time. How about
It was a night thousands of basketball fans across South Florida had been waiting years for, as Miami Vice star Don Johnson officially welcomed the Miami Heat to town during opening ceremonies for the team's first game. Included in the ceremonies, a laser show, fireworks, and introduction of the team's mascot, who doesn't have a name yet. That's probably because no one can figure out what it is. The game was sold out weeks ago, and for those lucky enough to get a ticket, they say it was a night they'll never forget.
It was an event. It was a social event for the whole city of Miami. Hey, this was where it was happening tonight.
The game began with high hopes for both the fans and the players. But after stopping the Clippers on defense, Heat guard Kevin Edwards had the ball stripped away by Clipper guard Norm Nixon, who went in for a layup and the game's first basket. The Heat came right back, though. Rory Sparrow scored the team's first basket, tying the game at 2 apiece. But 2-2 was as close as it ever was. As the game went on, the Clippers pulled away, leading most of the way by at least 15 points. While the fans were disappointed, they say they'll stick with this team for as long as it takes.
So it was a lot of fun. I mean, you got to expect that they're not going to win a lot the first couple of years. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day.
We are a young ball club, and we need all the help and the support we can get. It's just, I mean, it's a shame if people are not going to support us, because we need all the support we can get.
So the Heat lost their first game, the final score 111-91. But in years to come, the important thing won't be the scoreboard. It'll be the fact that history was made here tonight as Miami entered the NBA. From the Miami Arena, Todd Rosenthal, Dynamic Headline News. This is Dynamic Headline News, and here are some of the stories making headlines in our community. Quick action by Coral Gables police and an eyewitness helped to foil an attempted bank robbery in Coral Gables Monday afternoon. Police and eyewitnesses say at about 12:30, 4 masked men with semi-automatic weapons tried to rob the County National Bank at 4800 Lejeune Road, taking a female customer hostage. Police say the thieves got away with an undisclosed amount of cash, 3 of them escaping in the hostage's car. But they were caught almost immediately just a few blocks away near the Burger King on US 1 across from the University of Miami. The other suspect, who tried to escape on foot, was also captured just a few blocks from the bank. Police say during the chase they fired 1 shot grazing that suspect, who wasn't seriously injured. Police say there were no other injuries. The robbery was first reported by employees at Deal Ford, who saw the whole thing from across the street.
It was 4 guys getting to the bank with a gun machine, and then, they get into the bank. Like 5 minutes later, they get up to the bank. There was a UPS truck in front of the bank, so these guys tell the truck, "Hey, move, move!" And they run out in a 78, 79 Oldsmobile. Was a blue Oldsmobile.
We received a call from a witness who apparently was going by the County National Bank at the 4800 block of Lejeune Road, who observed 5 subjects go inside with masks, except for 1. Apparently, the one that did not have a mask on was a victim that was grabbed in the parking lot.
In local politics, he says he's dropped out of the mayor's race, but John Ekberg's name will still appear on the Coral Gables election ballot on April 11th. Ekberg recently asked that his name be taken off the ballot because he's decided to stop campaigning due to a death in the family. After consulting with the Dade election supervisor, the city attorney, and the city clerk, they both agreed that the mayoral candidate's name must remain on the ballot. Because of increased competition and changing neighborhoods in our community, many supermarkets are changing the age-old grocery business by going bigger and better. As Megan Villaverde reports, Publix is working on a new image.
Because of lower profits and tougher competition, public supermarkets are stocking up on changes and fighting back.
This has been Dynamic Headline News. I'll have more local news in 24 minutes. all the things here, and you say you'll be able to replace this building once the insurance and everything is handled, and you get in there, you can reconstruct it pretty much as it was. But those tiles